Welcome back, Guardians. Shadow Killer here, and we are going to take a look at the new official Destiny 2 Dead Zone video. Now, we're going to go through this. We're going to pause it whenever it needs be, but we're going to go over the trailer that was released earlier today, and we're just going to go and talk about it and kind of give impressions of what I think of it from what we're seeing, and maybe some ideas and hints that there might be giving us in the video. So with that, let's get started, everyone. So you can see that the world, it's pretty big. You have yourself, looks like a church, lush land. You have a ship coming in. And if that's in-game, dropping you in-game with that kind of cutscene, that'd be really cool. As you walk through the church, you're going to be running into an NPC, and that does look like the No Land Beyond, but the area as itself looks very detailed, and that Titan looks really cool. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Predator, a little bit. Obviously, you can't go invisible, but it would be kind of cool. And there we go. We have the fallen ships coming in. A lot more AI in the area from what it looks like. And you can see here we have the new map, and it looks pretty extensive. You have, some areas are gulch, you have the sludge, you have the Tross land, and it seems like these might be waypoints, it might look like, to get around the map, to teleport. Looks kind of like dungeons over here, but like this just looks like one part of the map. Like right here you have what is that, Mavic Square, but this looks like a map that's been unlocked right here. And then right there you can see there's a lost sector right there, so kind of like the dungeons, but like if you look, you see stuff up here that's like hidden off to the side. So this might just be one part of the map, and we just haven't expanded into the rest, like over here. So that's pretty cool. Oh, it looks like you get to pick up some stuff. Running through. Now I will say though, this gun, it sounds a lot more military. Like it's a lot. How the word I'm saying? It's has more of a base punch to it. So we're gonna obviously get it looks like missions from our NPC, and we're gonna go out and complete them. It seems kind of like a patrol kind of mission though, because we've done the find the thing that's hiding, and use your ghost to search it and go to the next waypoint. Well, the area is a lot bigger, and that gun's really accurate with hip firing, I will say. Holy shit, it must have like a certain perk, because like that thing is just destroying things up close. It could be that the person's overpowered for the area too. Aim down sight, that's a good sight. And that right there, destructible environment, I know we did have something similar to that in D1, but this looks like there's gonna be more of a premise on it. Now, I know I just paused the video, but you can see this area is full of traps. So this might be them going into a dungeon, like lost sector kind of a thing. So let's keep playing the video. And obviously you have the Fallen protecting the area, avoiding the traps. That's a new scout rifle from Suros. And there we go, we get to see grenades in action with the explosive barrels. That's cool. Just magically take them away. That's cool. Ooh, transmat now. So this is going to be teleported. Now this could be linked to waypoints in the game to help us get around the map quicker, since the maps are bigger than Destiny 1. So that hunter came out of an invisibility. Now I don't know if that's a loading area, or if that was a hunter being invisible. not enough information to go off of that, but that's just something I just thought I'd mention just quickly. And we have the exotic, Gatling gun from the beta. And there's a Cabal drop box. There's the shield. And we're gonna, mow up with the Gatling gun, hit some explosive barrels. There's the Dawn Blade, Arc Strider. Now this does seem like a lost sector, because it seems like the ads just keep coming and coming and coming, which is cool because it might not be a horde mode like Gears of War, but having that constant pressure, like D1, they were very lackluster. They weren't really pushing us, but if they keep pushing us, I think that'll add a lot of like tug and pull into the combat. We have the Sentinel. Now, Sentinel is doing some work, and it seems like the charge time is pretty decent on it. Yeah, this definitely looks like a dungeon, lost sector, because you just completed it and you just pulled the Wildwood Plate chest armor. So this has to be a lost sector, from what I can tell. And right here, this looks like, armor and weapons that you can buy from him. Every Gentleman Sniper. Devrim K. So Devrim K is going to be the new NPC. So, also in this scene, we have 12,562 Glimmer. We don't know if the cap is still going to be at 25,000. But you have these two different things right here. We do not know what they are. That could be something for like legendary marks, but we don't know. And it seems like we have a reputation that we can increase on with Devrim K. So let's keep going. Oh, there's faction rewards, and then we got Dead Zone Foliage Shader. Now, and we also got a kinetic weapon, Call to Serve, and we got Gauntlets Retrograde TG2. And they're legendary, they're purple. So what this kind of means to me is that we're going to be able to get legendary weapons early on, and we're going to be able to level them up sooner, like the light level, like Infusion. Because I think the blue weapons are a good start to a certain point. Unless, like I said, this character is already at a higher light level, so it's already dropping the legendary gear. But it'd be kind of cool if there's a lot of legendary gear that can drop in game, like at a relatively low level. Like there's a chance, but like you can get it, because like before in D1 it was really hard to get legendary weapons. So like it'd be kind of cool. Like, yeah, you got blue weapons, but you found a legendary, so you're gonna hold on to that, right? Because you don't want to lose it. Now, there's two here on the Dead Zone Foliage Shader. Now, my speculation is because you see a 4 pattern here. Hear me out. You have your heads, your gauntlets, your chest, and your boots. Now, from what it seemed like on other trailers and videos, that you're able to put shaders on each piece of armor. So right here you got 2. So I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to try and make it more of a grind to get shaders, like to get the same shader to match for you to get to match the whole armor set, but they're giving you 2 instead of 1, so you can kind of see the idea of what the character would look like with the shader. Because if that's the case, it's going to add replayability, because we don't know either if there's shaders for weapons too. There might be, because like there is those hidden box zones where shaders in the beta you could possibly put shaders. So let's continue. And they're taking sparrows, go across the European Dead Zone. Now, that right there was really like detailed environment, a lot more than D1. D1 was big environments, but there wasn't as much detail. Like right here is where I stopped. Like you can see the grass individually, and you can see like the light and the shading effect, and like little particles in the air. Like it seems as though like there's a lot more detail into every little piece of the map, as opposed to, yeah, there's grass and these little splotches, but then it just looks like a flat land with like a visual detail to make it look like there's some depth. So This looks really good right now. And now we're in a cave. That Titan though, man, Predator like everything. I'm gonna pause it here again. It just seems like the environment is more alive. There's more room, there's more vegetation, there's more shrubbery, like more reflections in light. Like even here looking at the screen, that's either sunset or the sun coming up, but like you can see the reflection in the water already. I think like this game is gonna look really awesome in 1080p or in 4K. I think it's gonna look great. I think it's gonna look fucking awesome in my opinion. It's gonna be the game that we always wanted. So, and this looks like kind of a patrol. Ooh, that looked pretty cool. We're gonna just backtrack that real quick for the the hunter. That looks pretty cool. It does look similar to some of the armor that we have, but that looks more like I'm gonna say like a cool guy kind of look. Like, yeah, I got my little shades on, I got my little swag cloak, and there you go. You got the Predator kind of looking Titan, and then you got the Warlock in the back. And right here we have looks like a basic auto rifle, like a white, maybe a blue. But then when we look over onto the Warlock on the left, that looks like a fusion rifle, a Vanguard. And that looks like a public event on the left. So let's keep going. Okay, so that little dome feature, if we can get back to it, that's pretty cool. That's something that like it could be defend, it could be to break the barrier, but that looks definitely reminiscent of a public event like in D1 where you see the target and you have the distance and the timer. I think that's actually really cool. It looks a lot more intricate than D1. Now this part right here, I'm just gonna freeze on it because this scene right here, that makes the world look huge. Mountains in the distance, you have a Cabal, I guess, master ship. I don't know what you want to call that, the commanding ship. And then you have Fallen here. This looks like a very hostile place, but it looks huge. This kind of reminds me of Halo, like in Halo 1 when you're going for the confluxes, I think it is. When in the very first mission when you land on the Halo ring and you look out and you have to go to that final spot to save all the guys in the very first game, you have to go underground underneath and get picked up. This kind of reminds me of that, where you can look down and look at the huge area that's there. It's really cool. Discover loot. This looks like more stuff that comes from like doing the discovered dungeons. So this extra lore is maybe we'll be able to find, like this in and around different areas of the maps of each place and find little bits of lore. What I hope that this does is it expands on it and it allows us to like follow it, like kind of like a story. Like I know they're going to put lore pieces in, like when you scan stuff in Destiny 1, but in D2 it'd be really cool if like this kind of led to like you learned about this, so it said something in, let's say, the text, and throughout the game you find something, you're like, hey, wait a minute, that has reminiscence of what I found earlier, and you can go in there and it kind of connects the links, so it's like a mini story, so you kind of like see it through. That would be really cool if you could do that. That'd be really awesome. Objects to find. So this looks like more stuff that we're going to be scanning to figure out stuff for the lore. Okay, so again, like in D1, you're going to be able to pull out your ghost and you're going to have challenges that you're able to mark off. So you got lost sectors, outskirts. You have EDZ, scavenger, gather 10 dusklight shards. That might be what that yellow thing was that I was looking at with the glimmer before. Durham sniper skill. Use a sniper rifle to defeat 10 enemies in the town of Trossland. Okay, so he's giving you little quests and he's also giving you little bounties, it seems like, as well. And this looks like a town, obviously. And that looks like more stuff to scan and look out for and uncover the lore. There's, it looks like the ship, kind of like in D1, that you have to find. Now this is cool. Lost sectors. It's kind of going over again, but it's against the fallen underneath. Now this right here, you can see right here, is the little, I'm gonna say, rock tower formation that we've seen in a previous trailer that Bungie put out. And this is where the invisible fallen were. So as the other flag in the previous scene was, this one's blue. So even though the house faction, like this is a different like house faction, but there might be different still sectors of it. So you might have different legions. You have a red one, you have a blue one, because there is those other fallen that are purple capes. So we might not know exactly, but there might be lore to explain how they all went separate and they band together under certain banners. So there's a lot of them, which is good. A lot of ads, more ads to kill, which is what they emphasized before, right? That they want to have more ads in the area. And we got quests and adventures. Okay, so now this is the Cabal. So as we can see here, this looks like a mission from what it looks like. Destroy the backup generators, and there's 9 of them. So this could be a lost sector or a mission. I'm going to assume it's a mission, but even though because it said adventures, so I'm going to assume it's a mission. So this is going to probably be a very hostile place. And there's a lot more ads, like a lot more, which is really cool. And Bungie loves hip firing with weapons. Okay, so we're blowing up a pillar, a pipeline. And there's a shard of the Traveler with a cart across the thing. Oh, and there we go. We got all 4 of them standing at the end. And this right here is a cool kind of pan out scene where it just shows like the world is big and there's lots of stuff to discover. And that it's funny because in other trailers that they keep showing this shard. So I have a funny feeling that that's where the raid's going to be. Just because Gaul wants the light, right? So he's trapped the Traveler, but that's a shard that fell off, right? So I'm going to think that he's going to try to be there. That's probably where the raid's going to be. There's been numerous times where they keep panning out to that screenshot in previous videos. So let's, let's see. And, again, it's available on September 6th. And if you pre-order, you get that cold heart. And I really think that this game is going to be really cool, really adventurous, like, because we're going to be able to go out, find things, especially with like going back to that shader kind of thing, that like if there's 4, 1 for each armor, that's going to put replayability in all the time, because then you're going to be constantly looking for that. And if that shader can also work for weapons, then getting the same thing over and over again for a shader won't be a bad thing, because then you can use it to customize. Now I hope that also works in tangent with the armor, that like each armor piece could be a little bit different if there's some way to adjust it or tweak it, because like I've said before in I think one of the other videos I did, that getting the same weapon over and over again with a bad perk roll is kind of salty, because you know what it could potentially be. But Bungie addressed that by making fixed rolls, so no matter what happens you get it, and that's the exact same roll. But as long as there's like 1,000 different variants, so like if it's hand cannons and there's like 1,000 different hand cannons, then this will work. I hope the same thing goes for armor, and I hope that there's a little bit more customization. So then if we get the same armor, it has the same perk rolls, okay, great. But I don't want to have the problem where you have certain perk rolls, but you don't like the armor. So if they add something like transmog onto it and you're able to bring it over to another armor piece, I hope something like that does exist. It would be really cool. But yeah. With that said, that's going to be it for this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below. Let's get a chat going. And subscribe for more Destiny and Destiny 2 content. Take it easy, Guardians. Shadow out.